Imagine a situation where you're getting ready to leave your house for the day, and as you walk through the door, you realize that you forgot something very important for your day, your lunch. Your brain automatically sends you a message with like a vision of your lunch sitting on the table right where you left it. And without hesitation, you process this image and you can recognize exactly where you left your lunch and you go get it and you're on your way out the door. However, if you're one of 6.4 million American children who are living with ADHD, this process is not so simple. The vision that you would get with ADHD includes everything that you've seen or thought about for the entire morning, and it's really difficult to sift through all of these different things to find your lunch. My oldest son, Bradley, was diagnosed with ADHD about 4 years ago when he was almost 9. Since then, I have spent hours and hours reading everything that I can about ADHD so that I can get to know him better and help him conquer his daily struggles. One of the most informative articles that I found was a 2015 article called Issues in Treating ADHD Among Children and Adults. The more that you know about ADHD, the better you can understand a person that you may run across in your own life who has ADHD. So today I'm going to tell you about what ADHD is, how it's diagnosed, and some of the ways that it can be treated. First, what is ADHD? Well, it's known as Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. It is a group of behavioral symptoms that can include inattentiveness, hyperactivity, and impulsiveness, and it's one of the most common mental health disorders diagnosed among children. ADHD can appear in multiple forms. They are just as they sound. The hyperactive impulsive includes being hyperactive and impulsive. Inattentive is also as it sounds, and then there's combination, which is a diagnosis of both different types of ADHD, so they call it combination. WebMD's online article titled How Common is ADHD that I found this month says that boys are twice as likely to be diagnosed with ADHD as girls are, and most of the girls that are diagnosed would have inattentive type ADHD. So it would make sense that my son Bradley would have the hyperactive impulsive type because he's a boy. Next, how is ADHD diagnosed? An article written by Penny Williams titled ADD versus ADHD, the three types of attention deficit disorder, said that a child can be diagnosed with ADHD if they show 6 out of 9 indicating symptoms over a span of 6 months in 2 or more settings. So the settings is home or school or daycare or something like that, but it has to be 2 settings where these symptoms are shown over a span of 6 months. So the symptoms for hyperactive impulsive ADHD are listed here. My son Bradley has several of these symptoms. He fidgets and moves around a lot. He's very talkative. He has impulsive reactions, and he is disruptive, as in he tends to interrupt people when they're speaking, and he just doesn't really think about it. He just does it. The symptoms for the inattentive ADHD are listed here. This is a kid that just appears to be careless, and they don't do very well on their schoolwork. Sometimes they forget where things are, or they're distracted, or they just forget what they're doing, and it just appears that they're lazy when really it's the ADHD symptoms. The combination ADHD, again, is a child that would show 6 of the symptoms of each type of ADHD out of the list of 18 total symptoms that there were. So the process for this is that the parents or caretakers are going to fill out an assessment form, and also 2 teachers fill out another assessment form, and they take it, the parents take it all to the doctor's office, and the doctor can assess and make the official diagnosis if the child is ADHD. It's also worth noting that most of the time, ADHD will come accompanied with some other diagnosis, such as oppositional defiant disorder, anxiety, or even depression. Finally, how is ADHD treated? Well, there are medications. These could include like stimulant medications or non-stimulants. Antidepressants sometimes can help, especially in a case where a child has ADHD and depression. The depression can be treated, which would help both. And then a lot of times kids that have ADHD are going to be taking something to help them sleep, like melatonin. I know my son Bradley says that when he lays down at night, he tries to fall asleep, but there's just too much going on inside his head, so he takes the melatonin. There's also therapy. This could be family therapy to help parents. It's really stressful having a kid that has ADHD, and sometimes you need help finding more discipline options or anything. Then there's individual therapy for the child to help them work through their emotional stuff and like learn to overcome their own challenges. And then there's behavior training, which we also do. We keep a very strict schedule so that his routine becomes muscle memory, and we have him write everything down and organize everything so that we always know where everything is. Now that you know what ADHD is, how it is diagnosed, and how it is treated, you can be more aware of the complexities of ADHD. And I hope that the information I shared with you today will help you to strengthen your relationship with any child in your life that has ADHD as well.